Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is ByMashudu and this is ByMashudu, where we talk all things natural, hair, DIYs and life. In today's video we're doing a little bit of life. I just want to record a few reminders that I have, reminders for me, and hopefully someone will come across this video, feel encouraged and have hope and be able to move on with life. Hearing someone talk about their experiences is very encouraging. It builds up faith, and so hence I'm making this video. So today I want to talk about the day I saw God move immediately. 2016, I wasn't working. I had a 1-year-old at the time. I had this bond. Only my husband was working, had another child in school. Things were not easy, it was tough. And at that particular time, I was in a particular church. Hopefully one day soon I'll be able to bring videos about my experiences there. But I was in this church, right? And I felt drained in many ways. I felt drained whenever I went there. I felt discouraged about life. It was like everything was draining me. Leading up to this day, that was the feeling. And there are other things that happened before and after this particular day. But on this particular day, I remember it was a Thursday. I woke up early and prepared my older child to go to school. He was around 7 years old. Got him ready for school. Transport picked him up. He went to school and I was left with my 1-year-old. So that day I knew the fridge was empty. I didn't know what supper was going to be that evening. Of all things, I think that's my main worry. What is supper going to be? And I didn't know what supper was going to be that day. And I went upstairs, closed. I went into the room. I read my Bible and I prayed. And my prayer that day, I was asking for food for that evening. And I think on that particular day, it was around the 24th of that month, I asked for food from God. I told him I didn't have food for that evening. I didn't know what I was going to feed my family that evening. I cried in my prayer. I remember crying and asking God to prove himself. I asked him to, do what his word says, that he will provide. He must show that, give me that provision that he mentions in the Bible. I wanted to see that on that day. It was urgent for me. I probably did this prayer around 7 a.m. And then when I was done, I didn't hold on to any word that I said. I let it go. I was still upstairs. I went and started cleaning the bathroom. As I was busy cleaning there, I first received an SMS. It's probably those marketing SMSs. Fine, I left it. I continued cleaning. Around 9 a.m. same day, an SMS came in. I normally check my SMSs as they come through. So the SMS comes in, it's a deposit. 500 Rand had been deposited into my account, and I could see who had deposited it, and I know the person. She's a very close friend of mine. I went into shock immediately. I went back to doing what I was doing and thanking God of what he had done. Obviously the bank charges took their portion, and whatever that was left in there, that was money for feeding for that. I needed money for that day, and God provided for that particular day. And a few hours later, maybe an hour or two later, she calls me because I was still in shock. And she says, "Did you see the money?" I said, "Yes." She says like, "Oh, you didn't say anything." I said, "I don't know what to say. You have no idea what just happened, but thank you. I will explain to you one day, but thank you so much for being an answer to my prayer. And later on, when I saw her, I asked her, why did you deposit money to my account that day? And she said, I know you had not done any work for me, in weeks leading to that particular day, but I just felt it in my spirit that I must give you something. And I said to her, thank you, because that day I had prayed and asked God for food for that evening, and He made provision through you. And I'm grateful that you answered when He spoke to you. And that was the conversation about that. For me, it meant the world at that particular moment, that God had my prayer and He had answered. He proved Himself to me that He hears me. It came immediately, and it proved to me that God is alive. God is waiting on us. The Bible says we do not receive because we do not ask. And when we ask, we need to ask wholeheartedly, and we let it go. We leave it all in His hands. Just wanted to remind myself that God is there. He is the provider. He provides, and He doesn't forget His children, and He hears His children when they talk to Him. Just whoever sees this video and you need to hear this, just be reminded of the fact that He hears your prayers. He sees your tears. He knows your every need, and He will meet it. It not only opened my eyes to the fact that God hears and is listening, and He wants to satisfy our every needs, and He wants to meet us at every point of our needs. It is you that He wants. It was me that He needed to hear from. He didn't want to hear from a pastor. He didn't want to hear on my behalf. He wanted to hear from me on that day. And it was because of Him hearing that prayer that I made about food that I realized that I was in the wrong church. Within a month, I left church. I didn't want to hear any prophecy. I didn't want anybody to touch me in the name of praying. I didn't want to hear anything that related to someone telling me about God. I wanted to hear from Him myself. And so that gave me confidence and encouraged me to take the next step, which I didn't know I was even going to take. And I didn't even know until I said it with my mouth that I'm leaving the church. That was it. I'll bring you another story of how I left this church, how I got into this church, and the things that I experienced in this church during me going through this church, and the things that I experienced even after leaving this church. But anyway, for today, that is it. I just wanted to encourage me and you that God is real, God is alive, He provides. Reach out to Him, He's waiting. With that said, thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like this video. Don't forget to share, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you. See you on the next one.